Good morning, everyone. Am I audible online?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Okay, all right. So today we are going to discuss a few topics related to sociology, current affairs. See, basically the purpose of this session is to give you an idea regarding how to connect current affairs topics with sociology. So we will not be discussing these current affairs topics from a GS angle. Instead, we will be focusing only on how to bring sociological analysis as well as sociological perspectives into these articles and topics. Okay. See, one thing that you need to understand is connecting these sociological, perspectives and theories into these general topics are comparatively, it is very easy. The problem is most of the students doesn't know how to think from a sociological point of view. When you look into the questions asked by UPSC in the previous years, especially related to paper 2, you can see that there are a lot of general or dynamic questions that they regularly ask. Right? Say for example, they will ask you about a scheme, right? A sociological perspective on so and so scheme. Or they will be even asking you regarding certain policies by government, and they will ask you to view it from a sociological, angle, right? Now, in such cases, most of the students find it very hard to bring sociological perspectives as well as to connect that with whatever we learn in sociology optional, right? So, this session, its purpose is to avoid such mistakes and to give you a proper idea regarding how to connect sociology with current affairs. Clear? Now, before we start with the session, I'll also like you to think from sociological angle regarding, few topics. Okay, suppose UPSC is asking you a topic related to, say, artificial intelligence. Okay. Now, suppose you are supposed to, view this topic from a sociological point of view. How will you incorporate sociological, angle into this? You have to add sociological viewpoints. You have to also add sociological perspectives and theories. It's just an exercise, you don't have to take much, pressure on this. Just try to think from sociological point of view. What will you guys add?
How they impact society, in social institutions, impact the theories which connect
Now, how I'm asking how you will connect various social institutions into this.
How it impact family,
Okay.
Then what individual life,
Okay.
Personal life, religion impact perspective
All right, that can be done.
So, Karl Marx's theory of capitalism, workers.
Okay, Karl Marx theory of how these systems actually exploit, workers as well as people. Then Durkheim's concept of anomy. All right. Sudden changes in technology will lead to a situation of normlessness. Yes. Then cultural lag. Yeah, because when artificial intelligence and new technologies are introduced, there will be a certain time gap between the values and norms of society catching up to these new technologies. Then okay, artificial intelligence and means theory. Okay, then okay, self component of individuals become more dominant. Okay, then job loss, racial discrimination, alienation, base structure and superstructure get affected. AI designed for prototype, not disabled people. Okay, see, now you are thinking, randomly to bring points, right? You are thinking about few thinkers, right? How their theory can be connected with artificial intelligence, and you have tried to think it from different social institutions. Now, whenever you get a generic question and you are asked to connect sociological theory with that, you have to divide it into, the thinking process must take place in 3 steps or in 3 ways. Okay. First and foremost, you have to think it from various social institutions. Now, social institutions are nothing but all those topics that you learn in sociology paper 1 as well as paper 2 as well. Okay. Whatever topics that you learn like religion, family, stratification, social change, even including education, science and technology, right? So all the social institutions and its impact on the given topic, if you can analyze in that way, you will be able to bring more points related to that topic which are aligned with sociology. All right. So let's think about artificial intelligence and how it will impact people's religious beliefs. How will it impact religious beliefs or religion as altogether? How will it impact?
Priest may be replaced.
Priest may be replaced.
Challenges traditional norms.
Challenges traditional norms.
More rational.
More rational thinking. All right. So you can connect it with artificial intelligence will bring in more rationality, and more rationality means influence of religion in society may go down. It will lead to increasing secularization of society, right? So the impact or influence of religion on overall society may reduce because of artificial intelligence as well as the rationality associated with it. Clear? Likewise, you have to connect it with how it will create changes or how will it influence family as an institution, how it will influence marriage as an institution, how it will impact or influence relationships as a whole in the society. So these are the things that you can try to come up with from the chapter system of kinship, because these are the topics that we deal there, right? Then you can go on to discuss how it will impact, say, educational systems, how it will impact stratification systems in society, will it lead to increasing mobility or decreasing mobility, right? So likewise, you have to connect it with different institutions or different topics that you learn in sociology. So this is one way to understand the sociological relevance of the topic. The second way is to think from, so first is social institutions. There you have to look into its influence on family, religion, then stratification, etc. Right, all the institutions. Now the second way to look into it is through various social groups. Various social groups in the sense, there are multiple social groups in our society, like say for example, gender based, right, women, right, then tribal groups, caste groups. So various social groups, you have to incorporate the influence of the topic or that institution or whatever it is to that of various social groups. All right. It includes even the migrant population. Okay. Then tribal population, elderly, women, transgender population, children. Right. Now, as far as possible, when you are dealing with social groups, try to deal with the marginalized sections of society. Say for example, slum population. Now, migrant population and slum population to a larger extent are overlapping, but still you have to think particularly from the point of view of slum population. Clear? So, if you can mention the influence of this topic on various social groups, then also you are producing sociological dimensions into that answer, right? So that is how you have to connect social groups. So social institution and social groups. Now, these two parts are like more of, you are not mentioning any theory there. You are just trying to analyze it from a sociological lens, right? There is no theoretical perspective, there is no thinker. You won't be able to bring much of the thinkers there. Now, that is why we have to also think from the theoretical perspectives in sociology. That is the third part. So, whatever points or dimensions that you are writing for that topic, it should always be within the sociological, sociology as a subject. You should not write points which are related to, economic development or geography or history or culture, because mostly when we get general questions, we have the tendency to write it from a GS point of view rather than sticking on to the sociological point of view of those topics. Right. So when it comes to theoretical perspective, there are two parts when it comes to theoretical perspective. First is you can think from overall perspectives like functional perspective, Marxist perspective, feminist perspective, interactionist perspective, subaltern perspective. So there are various perspectives in sociology. You have to think from these perspectives point of view as well. Clear? So whenever you get a topic, think from how will functionalist view that particular instance or that topic. What will be their opinion on that, topic? How will they treat that topic? Are you getting the point? Then Marxist perspective or feminist perspective or interactionist perspective. So you have to develop that kind of sociological analysis or thinking whenever you get a general topic. Apart from that, you have to also think from various thinkers' point of view, like major thinkers, like how will Marx consider this particular topic, right? Or not like how Marx will consider the topic, because that will be mostly dealing in the Marxian perspective. Instead, we have to focus on what concept explained by Marx can be used to explain this topic. Say for example, artificial intelligence and alienation. Right, you have mentioned about the exploitation angle or class conflict angle, or proletarianization can also be mentioned, because when artificial intelligence gets implemented widely in the society, it will create inequalities, right? That will lead to proletarianization, right? That difference between the haves and have-nots will increase. That gap will widen. Now, however, at the same time, you can also mention about alienation, because when technology is widely used, it will create alienation, self-alienation, social alienation, because social relationships again will become, shallow. It will become transient in nature, right? Similarly, Durkheim's concept of anomie as mentioned here, right? Then I think you mentioned about it, anomie, right? Then Merton's concept, if we can, implement or we can bring Merton's perspective, like, or concepts like, say, if there is any scope for bringing deviance, if there is any scope for bringing reference group, right? So you have to think based on the concepts of various thinkers. If you incorporate all of this into the topic given, you will definitely get around 7 to 8 proper dimensions to write in that topic. This is how you have to treat every topic that you get from a generic point of view. Whether it is current affairs topic, see, basically calling current affairs in sociology is not correct, because UPSC is not following current affairs there. Instead, they are asking contemporary events and contemporary topics, and they ask you to view it from a sociological perspective, right? So you cannot actually say that it is current affairs from a GS point of view, because you don't have to read any compilations or anything. Just have to have this idea regarding how to bring sociological perspective. Is it clear? So this is how you have to think. Whether it is asked in paper 1 or paper 2, it doesn't change. Now, whatever extra that you need to do here is to bring diverse concepts, because these days UPSC want you to write unique answers. No, it's not like now they want you to write unique answers. It was like that ever since UPSC started this exam. So how will you make your answers more unique? Because these stuff, everyone learned this, right? It's not like it is unique to you or unique to a particular person. There will obviously be changes, because when you think related to a topic, the points that you might bring into the paper and point that another student bring into the paper will be different. Even though the overall framework will be the same, the actual points will differ from student to student. But apart from that, in order to add some more value into your answers, you have to also be aware of new concepts, new sociological concepts, which is brought by postmodern thinkers or modern thinkers, right? Say for example, when you are dealing with post-globalization society, there are various thinkers who have mentioned about, like Ulrich Beck, risk society. We'll be discussing about that. Now, apart from the thinkers that we learn in the syllabus, there are also other contemporary thinkers who have mentioned about the current issues or contemporary issues, and they have conceptualized it and have created various new concepts associated with these issues. So you don't have to stick on to those standard thinkers that we learn in the syllabus. You have to also incorporate new concepts and ideas which are very relevant to the contemporary society. Because these thinkers that we learn in the syllabus, they have already, they are no more, right? So they are not dealing with the current issues or contemporary issues, and whatever concepts that they have bought, that relates to the time period in which they were living. So you have to also rely on new thinkers and their concepts that can better explain the condition that we are going through right now. Is it clear? So you have to have that knack of, generating more content, more concepts that you can add as value addition in your answers. Because what I've seen is, if you can bring these stuff in your answers, because these things you cannot find in any textbook. All right. So as a result, if you are finding a new thinker's concept and if you can place it properly in your answers related to the topic, then definitely you can create an impression over the examiner. All right. So in our session, what we will focus is, we will try to do this particular exercise, right? We will take each topic, we will try to analyze it from a sociological lens, we will try to add various perspectives, as well as we try to bring in diverse dimensions of contemporary thinkers related to the topic. Clear? So once you start doing this process, at some point what will happen is, as soon as you get a topic, you will not find it difficult to generate points related to the topic. Whatever questions that UPSC asks, you will be comfortably able to give sociological point of view in that. Clear? So that is the purpose of this session.